So jar spells. Jar spells. You can get a jar. This, you know what? This is an old brown gravy jar. It doesn't have to be a mason jar or anything like that. Um, jar spells. You don't really have to know much about witchcraft at all to put that in there. Maybe get an herbal correspondence book for the herbs that you want to put in, or something like that. Most people make jar spells on what's on hand usually, though. To be fair, a lot of times it's like what's in your spice rack. You know, back in the day when like jar spells were kind of started being created around like the hoodoo kind of thing. You know, these people were slaves who were working in their master's kitchen, and they were just putting things together off of what was in hand. So that's why when you see a sweet jar, you're going to see honey in it. You're going to see things that are sugary, maybe some sugar in it, and various other things. And, you know, you put a person's name in there, you know, or something like that. You burn an appropriate candle over it, and bingo, bango, there you go. Likewise, a sour jar, pretty much the same thing. You find something sour, uh, uh, ideally, you know, and you put it in there. Maybe some herbs to go with your intentions. That's why herbal correspondence is important. And maybe some physical objects too, as well. You know, you can do that. For something more punitive, like a hex jar or something like that, you know, nails, tacks, spicy things like really hot peppers. Uh, you may want to put some graveyard dirt in there, or you know, put something of that nature in there. Some people put shit and piss in there, you know, and they put the person's name in there, and then the bingo bango, there you go. You don't have to church up a jar spell. You can't really church up a jar spell anyway. In other words, you can't make it. It's not really meant to be fancy. It's meant to be effective, and it's both effective and not requiring a whole lot of knowledge to put one together. But that's okay. That's cool. You know, jar spells. Hey, if it works, and they can be very powerful. If it works, who cares if they're complicated? Ideally, what you want to do is streamline your magic anyway, to where it doesn't have to be that complicated. That way. There's less to fuck up. And as far as disposing of them, I like to bury mine, but that's just it me, because I don't like people moving mine around. I don't like keeping them in my house. I don't like any of that stuff. So I like to bury mine. And that doesn't necessarily signify like that the job's done. It just means that nobody can really get to it. I don't often do jar spells, but sometimes I do for like smaller stuff. Um, I don't consider it like, you know, you don't have to be a master of magic, is what I'm saying. You could be somebody that don't know much about much, and you can make a jar spell for just about anything. It's kind of like a road opener spell. You can make a road opener to fit any situation, really. So yeah, jar spells. I recommend them for what they are, for sure.